So guys, we are going to go over some examples. This example is one that you did do in your notes. We did example 7 and 9 in class. So this is going to be the one that's on your page. This one is actually not on your page. We did 9 in this block. I'm going to do 9 and 10 as well. So if you want to practice this one, or if you want to put this one on the back or something, I'm just trying to give you a few more examples to check out in case you were wanting to practice more and you wanted to understand it better. So let's look at both of these. Okay, remember, you want to factor first, but in this case, there's no factoring going on. So, now we need to compare the denominators. Alright, so I'm just going to rewrite it with a longer denominator. That way I can change them as I need. Okay, so what does, let's use this one. What is this one missing compared to that one? Well, it's missing the 7. 7 on top, 7 on bottom, 7 on top. Alright, so then we ask again, what is this one missing compared to that denominator? Well, that is a 4x. 4x on bottom, 4x on top. So, now that they match, they're both 7 times 4x, which is really 28x, okay? Now, we can actually work out the numerators. That's 21 minus 4x, okay? So, we factored first. In this case, we didn't need to. Now that we've put their denominators together, matched them up, and we have put the numerators together, the last thing we do is factor, so factor last. 21 and 4x do not have any like terms, or they don't have a GCF, pardon me. So that is all it is. That's all we can do. Okay? So that one was a lot easier than I know some of the other ones we've talked about. So then we look here, factor first. Okay? What is the this doesn't really have a GCF. Okay? It is 3 times x times x, so it might be better to see it that way. We'll see. It might be helpful to see the x's separately. We'll find out in a second. Okay, factoring this, we need to do GCF. So the GCF of that is 3 times x, and we're left with 3x minus 4. Alright, so now we need to get that common denominator. So we ask ourselves, and I think I'm just going to move this one over so I can kind of do it all on one line, plus we said that's 3x times 3x minus 4. Alright, so we're going to tack something on to each one in order for them to match. So what is this one missing? Alright, well this one is missing, obviously, the 3x minus 4, okay? We have the 3x right here, so I'm going to take away that set of parentheses at least. Okay, we've got the 3x right there. So we need the 3x minus 4. So on top and on bottom, okay, the 1 is right there, so we're going to multiply that in a second. Okay, I keep forgetting to put the numerator on the second one, but that's okay, we get it eventually. Alright, so then what is this one missing that this one has? Well, if you notice, they both have the 3x. They both now have the 3x minus 4, but this one has an extra x in there that we do need to use. Let me use, where is it? This one. X on bottom, x on top. Alright, so now our common denominator is just this whole huge thing. I think I'm going to go ahead and put those back together, so I'm going to call that 3x squared times 3x minus 4, okay, just that way we don't see it quite so spread out. And then here we have 3x minus 4 plus x times x is just x squared. Alright, so if we have any like terms, we would put them together. In this case, we don't have any like terms, but I do want to rewrite it. Alright, and the reason why we want to rewrite it is because we factored first, and so now we're going to have to factor last. So, 3x squared times 3x minus 4. Okay. put the x squared first, plus 3x minus 4. All right, so if we want to factor that, we just ask ourselves what multiplies to negative 4 and adds to 3. Well, that would be a positive 4 and a negative 1. So those are our factors. So that would be x plus 4 and x, let me write that a little bit further down, x plus 4 and x minus 1, but unfortunately, that really doesn't cancel with anything, so we're still left with the whole thing. But we still tried to factor so that if something canceled, we could cross them out. Okay, so factored first, factored last, and then common denominator and simplify in the middle. All right, so now let's look at 9 and 10, just so that if you see any of them, you can go through any of the parts. And these, I think, go in order. So like 7 is the easiest, 8 is kind of getting harder, and then 9 and 10 we'll want to practice so that you can get to the harder problems and practice and be successful.